Hello, you're listening to Everyday Superpower, a place we can learn about body language, non-verbal communication, and everything in between. You know, we get down to the basics, we tell you how it is nice and easy and simple, no jargon, get straight to the point. So leave a like, leave a subscription, you know you wanna, and if there's any commentation you wanna leave a comment below during the video. So here we are, we're gonna be talking about the hands in the pockets today. You will have seen this, I've seen this. I've done this as a teenager, more than likely. I have stopped doing this since learning about body language, and I urge you to do too. Okay, so why would somebody place the hands in the pockets, right? So having the hands in the pockets, yeah, signals a lack of confidence and a need for privacy. And it's also a very defensive gesture, okay, very defensive behavior. Hiding the hands in the pockets is going to be used to create additional security when an individual feels uncomfortable, basically. So when somebody is speaking about a uncomfortable subject, when somebody is socially anxious and in a a socially uncomfortable space, such as a large crowd or a different tribe as what they used to. The hands in the pockets provides a safe space, a little utopia of isolation within the pocket, alright? There's space all to themselves, okay? Security and a place to hide, alright? Don't ever put the hands in the pockets. Learn to walk around with your arms uncrossed and your hands out of your pockets. It will be picked up on a unconscious basis by the people around you. You don't need to know body language to be triggered. Your brain will be triggered if you can't see the hands of another individual, because your survival mechanism is going to be screaming, this person may potentially have a weapon. Alright, so if you want to learn more about that, check out my hands videos. I've got plenty of them. Alright, so don't do that. It's symbolic of somebody who is insecure. So I've been speaking to an individual across the table, and I've said something about an individual whom they don't want to discuss for some reason. Don't get me wrong, it was a positive conversation, but there was a trigger of sort as to why that person wouldn't want to speak to that person. So in real time, I saw the individual's hand retract across the table and into the pockets. It turns out later that them two had a falling out, which exists to this day, so it's quite serious. Alright, I was able to pinpoint that something was wrong from that very moment, because in real time, during the social examination of what could have triggered this, oh wait a minute, I've just mentioned this person and witnessed this happen. Saw it happen right there before my eyes. So don't do that, okay? And when I say don't do that, I know that these behaviours are subconscious for the most part, obviously. But personally, I know. If I was to put my hands in my pockets or cross my arms, it would be a conscious behaviour. I suppose perhaps I'm not as anxious as I used to be when I was younger, so it might be something to do with that. But if I put my hands in my pockets, it tends to be more conscious in this state than subconscious. So I have rewired myself to, an extent into not doing so. Very, very rarely I might find myself with my arms crossed before I consciously acknowledge it. But as far as the hands in the pockets, not necessarily, okay? There are levels to it. So I'm going to do a video on the hands in the pockets with the thumbs hanging out. That is a different signal. Still holds some of the basis of what we're going to talk about, but it varies the signal, okay? So we're just talking about the complete hands in the pockets at this moment in time, right? Maybe they're just cold. Maybe they are. But I was cold when I spoke to a homeless person who came up asking me for change, and they considered me potentially having a weapon in my, like a literal weapon in my pocket, because I had done so. It was raining, alright? I had my hands in my pockets because it was really cold, but it was still observed by this individual as me, being a threat. It was verbally stated to me, okay? my hands were outside of my pockets and my palms were exposed, it's a clear signal that I come in peace and I'm friendly, all right? And that doesn't mean you're a weak individual if you're trying to, come across as some sort of dominant individual. It shows that you're not scared, all right? Because if you've got your head down and your hands in your pockets and you're, in this defensive state, this inward state, then you do look like a victim and you will be picked on, as opposed to looking comfortable and calm and cool, okay? Just keep the hands out. And that's about it, realistically. I think we jammed quite a good amount of information in that little moment. I won't need to delve off too far. I'm going to talk about the variations of it, because there's many different pockets you can put your hands in, and of course you can have varying fingers in the hands, and you can have one hand in, and so on and so forth. So we'll talk about that in a later video, but I hope you enjoyed. If you have come across this, or if you do this yourself, leave a comment. Please leave a like, and if you want to learn more about reading people's minds just by observing them, please click subscribe. Goodbye.